Peacemaker season 1, sort of like retrospective of sorts, as we're just going to be here to talk about favorite moments and whatnot with Peacemaker, as we are both very excited for Peacemaker season 2. Great to have Andrew back with me, as we so far we've reviewed all the DCU stuff together, and so how fitting is it that we'll talk about Peacemaker season 1 here before we get into talking about season 2, which will be exciting. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Welcome to the Dingus Den.
All right. How are you doing? Good.
Doing good. I'm really excited to talk about Peacemaker. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I was on vacation, actually, in your state, but obviously nowhere close to you because it's a giant freaking state. And so,
Yep.
but yeah, no, I went to Rebel Scum Con, which was a lot of fun. Star Wars themed con. Welcome in, Matthew. What's up? But yeah,
I want to attend that at some point because that looked like it was a lot of fun.
it was a smaller convention, but it was really it was fun. It's fun because with the smaller conventions, like a bunch of the stars just walk around a bit close quarters. Nice. And what happened? I swear we'll get into Peacemaker here shortly, but what happened? I was able to like walk up or just see a bit of the stars come by. Like I actually got to chat with a little bit on the side with a couple of the pirates from Skeleton Crew, which was really cool.
Nice.
And then there's one night they had an event called Bunta Eve, where it's like they rented out essentially like one of those like bar restaurants where they have like karaoke inside in there. And so anyway, I got a free ticket to go to that, which was awesome. Thank you to whoever gave it to me. But a bunch of the stars were there. They were only expecting like 15 of the actors being there, but there ended up being like 40 of them there.
Oh wow!
Nice. And what was cool though is we weren't in like the main karaoke area because it was completely full. So we were like out sitting out in this other area, and it was me, Steve, JD, and JD's girlfriend, and we were just there at a table, and then just randomly, same where it literally comes up, like literally I could like, oh wow, right behind me. He literally just peeks up behind me as he's looking, and then like it's just cool though when somebody like that just comes up behind you and then like just completely goes away. I was like, oh whoa, holy shit, it was Sam Whitmer. And then
like
a little
one
bit
of his hair sends it to Debbie.
Yeah. And so it was cool. And then a moment later, or not a moment later, but like a little bit later, do you know who David Collins is? He's a sound guy.
Yes.
And he voiced Proxy, and he does some other small voice roles. Him and Matthew Wood were like at a table like diagonal of us for a bit.
Oh,
and I caught wind that they were going to do a song together.
Nice.
And so when it was their turn to go, I followed them out to go see them perform. And if you remember, I believe as in promotional material for Skeleton Crew, there's like an original song that's sung in, I believe it's Huttese.
Okay.
They did that song live together because that was a song they actually wrote.
Cool.
And so
nice.
I have a video of it. I'll send it to you. And so it was a lot of fun. And so, but yeah, it was great. But that explains why there was no Comic Den last week, because both well, obviously I was town, so I couldn't do this, but also I was hanging out with Steve, the co-host of Comic Den, and also we decided we're also going to be taking tomorrow off of Comic Den as well. It's just other stuff is going on, and we haven't had too much time to delve into reading. Well, actually I have, but there's just other stuff going on, and so we're, So anyway, no Comic Den this week. So this is like the main thing I have going on this week, which is going to be, cool because for anybody listening in, we are going to be reviewing the future episodes of Peacemaker, which will be cool. Just a couple of days after they air, so that'll be fun. So definitely, I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, let's get into the Peacemaker conversation. As I mentioned to you, I wanted to go through this talking about like each of the characters as we go, as it's a very character driven show. But I do have a couple questions before we get into specifics. First being, what's your overall thoughts on the show? And did it change with rewatching?
Yeah, so I really liked the show the first time I watched it when it was coming out. I remember when it was announced. The only thing I'm familiar with as far as Peacemaker goes is what we've seen with John Cena. I had never heard of the character before Suicide Squad, so when I heard he was getting a show, I was like, I like John Cena as an actor, so I was like, cool, James Gunn, this will be fun. But the way everyone is so well cast in my opinion, and the chemistry is just so on point. And one thing James Gunn does so well, not just in Peacemaker but all his projects, is the humor and the drama is all perfectly timed, and he can switch back and forth in the scene to where like you're laughing and then you're like, oh crap, this is serious now. And we get that a lot in this show. I enjoyed it a lot more on this rewatch because I got a lot of the jokes more as I have matured in age. Because the first time I watched it, a lot of the jokes just went over my head.
I did feel that a little bit too.
Yeah.
So,
so man, I can't tell you how many times I was laughing and my stomach was just hurting. I actually had forgotten about one of the plot twists in the show. I don't know why I'm acting like I need to avoid spoilers. When
full on spoilers.
Exactly. Show's been out for 3 years, folks. When Myrn was revealed to be a butterfly. I actually didn't remember that. So it's good that I rewatched it.
That was a big plot point there. It's funny you talk about forgetting one of the big plot points, where the big plot point I forgot about the whole planting the diary thing.
Oh yeah.
And when it happened, I was like, I completely forgot about this. So
well, one thing from the show, it's with all the characters, it's like one scene you're like, I can't stand these people, I hate them, and then the next scene you're like, I shouldn't like these people, but I'm feeling for them.
It is great because we know, I think at the end of the day we can all agree James Gunn really does a great job with writing for a group of misfits together. I love Superman, but even then, kind of the Justice Gang had their big moments too, just because he knows how to write for groups really well. And this is definitely, while it's definitely very much driven by Peacemaker, we have a group there of just messed up people that's really interesting as we get into it all, which I really like. But before we get into each of those characters, the other question I want to ask, and this is something we'll revisit as we talk about Peacemaker Season 2, but before we get into it, what is your thoughts about this show overall being canon, other than like a couple references here and there? Like for example, he's saying like the reference in episode 1 when he first gets out of the hospital with Aquaman, that's not canon because Aquaman wouldn't be widely known at this point. But then other characters like Flash and Wonder Woman, and they mention, he's like, I don't know if it's canon yet. It might be, but maybe not, because you have to think this is early years of a universe that is trying to fit in. But other than that, though, it's meant to be like a canon story. But then obviously there's these kind of weird caveats, and this was originally connected to the DC EU, which is obviously meant to be a spinoff of just the Suicide Squad, which is now being described as the Lucid Dream. But anyway, long description to ask, how do you kind of feel about this show being in a mostly canon situation?
I don't mind it at all. The moment I heard that James Gunn was going to be taking over the DC as a whole, I was kind of speculating that would be the case. And we see this a lot with Marvel. Think about Blade, for instance. Those were not MCU. The MCU was not around when Blade was made.
Sure.
He appeared in Deadpool and Wolverine, which was made an MCU film. So those are kind of like unofficial MCU movies where you watch them and you go, obviously it doesn't tie all the X-Men movies too. It's like, so we're kind of at the point with the superhero movies where everything is kind of unofficially canon. With the multiverse and all that stuff. And so I don't mind it personally.
I could definitely see that. You see, this is an interesting case though, where kind of different than those cases is that's because in a general aspect, like a little more than just the comic book stuff, this idea of multiverses has kind of blown up, and that is going to be a plot point in the new season. But it'll be the thing that's so different about this is that we see they're fitting in this Peacemaker season 1 of being like, well, it's in the main world. It's not like it's him from one universe coming to another. I know there's some people that think that, and obviously we can't fully say if that's the case or not. But I'm 90% sure that's not the case. 99% sure. And so, but you know, it's interesting.
Maybe a portal opens and they're all sucked in.
Portal opens, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I have heard they address it in a really good way, just from some of the early reactions, because a couple days ago there was the premiere for I don't know how many they showed. I know press only got to see a total of 5 episodes. So the last 3 are meant to be like really big. So I love it when they do that, because then you know they no always spoil stuff, you know, at the end of the day, intentionally or not, you know. But like I'm excited to see where it's all going. But as for me, for the canon thing, I would for the most part agree with what you said. It didn't bother me too much, and plus I think it's one of those stories that can easily flow into one into another, and obviously we'll see how it all works out and see how season 2 addresses it. And so that's one of my big things with season 2 that I'm really curious about is you know, we get so caught up in continuity about things, and I know James Gunn on record has said that people are too hard on canon stuff sometimes, so we'll see about how this works. But it's good that he's setting up you know, he explicitly says like what is and isn't, and other than the Justice League at the end of season 1, it's just references, which isn't
I was gonna say,
outside
of like 3 or 4, there's really no tie to the DCEU.
The
only ties with characters is Hardcore and Economos have a cameo in Fury of the Gods and a post-credit scene. Shazam, they like meet up with him or something randomly.
I think Harcourt was also in Black Adam, if I remember right.
Oh, maybe it was Black Adam, not
No, I think they were in a they were in a post credit for Shazam 2. You're right, but I think Harcourt was also in Black Adam. Like, they kept on using her character, which was funny.
So too. Yeah.
And so
yeah. Outside of those little references here, and how many people really saw Black Adam? I mean, you know, I highly doubt people are going to go, well, like Superman, Henry Cavill. I mean, you know, it was the big return, and then James Gunn took over, and I was like, sorry, buddy. So, I mean, James kind of when he took over, though, the DCU EU, I think wasn't really going anywhere. They had all these loose plot threads of like, we want to do this, but I'm not too worried that it's over.
I think, you know, at the end of the day, a hard reboot can be a good thing, you know, and I don't want to get into it too much, but I think it's something that Marvel can very much benefit from now as well. But
which supposedly they're doing, but
we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But you know, with DC, I think it very much helps. You know, for the most part, I think I would say Superman was, for the pretty most part, really well received. But then there's some people here there that don't like it. But yeah, it is. I think it's a very promising start with everything we've seen so far, and so it'll be awesome to see how season 2 is going to guide the, you know, how it'll shape the universe going forward. As that's, you know, that's what James Gunn, I think there's more to this reason, but, you know, James Gunn saying, you know, Superman came out digitally yesterday, go watch it if you haven't seen it in the theater. Because he wants more people to check it out before Peacemaker season 2, since Peacemaker season 2 supposedly lays a bunch of foundation for the DC universe. Which I'm excited to see where that goes. I love world building, and so seeing what'll happen here with building the DC universe, I'm really excited for. It's going to be interesting to see that season 2. You know, it's so weird to say this, but about how a season 2 of a show is the first official season of a DCU live action show.
I was gonna say,
that's really weird. Like, that's what throws me off the most of it, is like, not that we're getting it, but it's just how that works. And so, but anyway, it's very exciting to see how where that's gonna go. And so, but anyway, we'll get into all that stuff as it comes out. When we were going to be talking, we're aiming for every week to talk about each episode as it comes out, delve deep into them, talk about other things we like or may not like about it. But the big point of this is we're just excited for it, obviously, as you can tell. But we also wanted to talk about Peacemaker season 1, since it was a great time to revisit it, since season 2 is right around the corner. And so for myself, I loved the show when it first came out. One of my favorite DC shows. I would say, I'm trying to think if there's a show that could trump it for me for when I first watched it. Because I think after I first watched it, I was probably like, this is the best DC show. Obviously, since then, we got the Penguin, which is less like a whole other layer of stuff right there. But this is still a great show. And it's kind of one of those, I think that those, at least comparing the two shows, it shows what I love about DC, about the variety of the stories and stuff they can tell.
And tone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's why, it's one of the big reasons why I love DC is the variety to its universe. And we see it with those two shows right off the bat right there. Or even Creature Commandos a little bit as well, But Peacemaker, I loved it. It's I feel like it's not only one of the best ever DC shows, but I think also one of the best ever comic book shows. I don't know if I could say a top 5 because there's a lot of great comic book shows, but I think I could place it in the top 10 somewhere.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to think about what would be on that list, but it would be fairly high up. Like if it's not in the lower end of top 5, I feel like it'd be close to there. So I really like 6 or 7. Yeah, like I could see it being around there somewhere because there's a bunch of other great shows out there, especially when you talk about the old cartoons and stuff. But anyway, Peacemaker though, that's great.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, right. Peacemaker, right. So let's get into it though. Peacemaker. Get into the characters. We keep on talking about saying the name Peacemaker. Let's actually talk about Peacemaker. Who would have thought John Cena would actually be a good actor?
Right.
Of all the people that you'd think, and I think he really shines. Of all the performances we've seen thus far from him, I think he shines the most in this show. And everyone I hear say that his acting grows even better in season 2. And so I'm excited to see where it goes there. But just from this first season, it's like, wow, he can act really good. And even in the Suicide Squad, I remember when the Suicide Squad came out, a lot of people really didn't care for his character, even with knowing there's a show coming out. But I was one of the people that was like, he was probably one of my favorites even in that movie. So it kind of worked. It just happened to work out that he's getting his own he was getting his own show at the time that we all knew about. And so, but yeah, what do you think about him?
I thought he was great. I mean, of the projects I've seen Cena in, this is probably my favorite and best acting that he's done. One thing I find really cool or funny about Peacemaker as a character is he can have really serious moments where he says, I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill to get it. And then he could be really ditzy, where he has and we see this in the season where he just spits out all these facts about superheroes, and those hardcore will be like, where do you get this stuff? And he'll say Google, and she'll say, that's not true. And he goes, oh, you know more than Google.
I love these Google. It's so great.
Yeah. Or when he spits the 100 celebrity names out,
oh my gosh,
that was because he was only supposed to do, I think, like 10.
So what it was in the script, only the first 2 names were written in the script.
Oh wow.
All the others were improv.
Wow.
So that's crazy right there. There's some fun tidbits that comes out from the right now. There's a Peacemaker podcast coming out. I have listened to all of them except for the episode 7 one, which is out, and then the one for the season 1 finale comes out on Monday. So, but I've listened to all the others thus far, and so there's some fun tidbits, such as that being one of the things.
Yeah.
Welcome in a Jedi Genasi. Great to see you here. He says, here for the homie Andrew. Can't wait for next week. Well, you are in the right place then, as we are very excited, and we were just gushing about our excitement for season 2, since we both cannot wait. So welcome and great to see you here. But yes, he's such a great character. I really like him. Something I find interesting, and this will segue into the next character in a moment, is that Peacemaker was a bigger character, like not like very early DC Comics, but earlier on with DC Comics.
Okay.
Vigilante had a series that lasted for like 50 something issues, and what year would it have been? 60s, 70s, like back then. And I know Peacemaker's played some bigger roles and stuff. And he didn't, I think, really have his own title, but he played a bigger role back then. And so it's kind of funny how Peacemaker is one of those characters that had a fair-sized presence in the comics at one point, and then just kind of went away. And it comes back, and everybody was like, "Who the heck is this character?" And now seeing him being such a big driving force is so interesting. So just a little bit of background there. But yeah, Peacemaker's great though. I love just John Cena nails his personality so much, which is just great, and he really helps drive the show with everything going on around him and everything going around with his just everybody there. It's kind of hard to just talk about, like, part of what we want to do is talk about our favorite moments. And it's kind of hard to be like, well, like what moment do I pick for his character? Because there's so many great moments throughout this show. And so like, I'm just trying to think of like, there's just so many great parts with him. But as he said with the actor names, like that part was just hilarious. I always love all the bickering with Vigilante. Diebeard as well. Yes. But yeah, just
Vigilante. Their back and forth is so funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Vigilante is great. But Peacemaker is just a great character though, and really helped drive the show, which is awesome.
He has a pet eagle named Eagly. Like, I remember watching that for the first time. I was like, this just fits the character. Like,
it does. An eagle that can hug.
Yeah. Dad. Well, that's the first glimpse we get at how awful his dad is and how little he cares. An eagle's hugging your son, and you're just like, eh.
You get a bunch with him. That's one of those messed up things with the show. Is
Robert Patrick does a good job of.
He does a great job.
Yeah. Being all sorts of bad. We can't say all his quotes on stream because we will get flagged. So
yes. There's some crazy stuff. Jedi Janasi asks, what are y'all's thoughts on the crazy spoilers that they'd be talking about in the final 3 episodes? Only dropping the first 5 episodes, so the trade seems intentional. Yeah, it very much is, since James Gunn is saying episodes 6 and 8 are some of his favorite things that he's ever directed. And so I'm very curious to see that, because he's done a lot of great stuff. I don't think he's put out anything bad.
No, not
at
yet.
the very least, I think there's been things that are good that just haven't fully clicked with me. But other than that, it's like I've loved all the stuff he's come up with. So I'm very curious to see like what he considers as some of the best stuff that he's done. So I'm very excited to see what he does with it, because he has a bunch of, he gets a bunch of creative liberty, which he talks about how it's freeing, but also very, what's the word you want to say?
Like risky
risky. Yeah. But anyway, it could be hard for him to also try to charter the path for this character to modernize a character that was, an older character and then kind of got lost to time and then brought back again. And so, but yeah, it just makes me excited even more, because I love when they do this. Since, I feel like anytime
no chance of spoilers. So
yeah, I think anytime when they wait to do that, there's always big things coming. Because we've seen it a lot with a bunch of the Disney shows, which is, like the Disney Plus Marvel shows, which worked, and a lot of the Star Wars stuff, like they intentionally had this stuff. And I think it always helps, when you watch the weekly sort of engagement with it helps very much, I think, so everybody has something to look forward to. So, also asked, my call is Idris is back as Bloodsport. A Gun casually dropped a line like this, wanting him back. Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
He has said there's some cameos, and we already know of some too. We know that at least, I think we know of at least 2 members of the Justice Gang is going to be in it.
Oh, that's right.
And we also know Maxwell Lord is going to be in it. So we actually get to learn more of the Justice Gang and how they operate themselves. See, that'll be interesting, is learning more about the Justice Gang and then going back and watching Superman.
Peacemaker wants to get in the group and he says Justice League is a dumb name.
Justice Gang is a dumb name. Name, yeah.
Out of the group.
Yep. He has to have some respect for Superman, too. They'd have to grow to join it as well. But anyway. But yeah, other characters. Vigilante. He was such a highlight. So funny. What's his name? Freddie Sherma nailed it. One of the interesting things that I learned with watching the Peacemaker podcast about him is that his Freddie Sherma wasn't casted until they were filming episode 6. While they were filming episode 6, wow. The previous actor wasn't clicking with him. And so they made the hard decision to let go with him and find somebody else. And it was a time where they couldn't do it as easily because they filmed the show during COVID. So that includes, not only did they have to cast somebody, but they also had to keep in mind a 2-week quarantine.
Yeah.
And so when it got time for him to do his scenes, they had to go back and redo all the stuff with him when his mask was off. But anytime when you actually saw the full suit on in any of the previous episodes before 6, it's still the old actor in them. He just dubbed over.
Oh, wow.
So interesting factor.
There's a funny scene. I don't remember the episode number, but it's when Peacemaker finds out his dad was in jail. And Vigilante, he doesn't know that Adebayo knows that he's Vigilante. And she goes like, "Are you Vigilante or something like that?" And he goes, "No." "Who's Vigilante? I've never heard of him." "It could be a she." And she's like, "You sound awful lot like him." He goes, "Oh," he like changes his voice or something. He has like the limp.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
There's a couple Vigilante moments that really stuck out with me. One is how funny it is when in the unmasking scene in the basement in the cave, and he immediately takes off his mask and makes all the faces and constantly moves and all that.
You can't recognize me.
And the funny thing is, though, is it's like, that strategy has some merit, although you can only keep up with it for so long before you get tired.
Yeah, he's doing his face exercises.
Yeah. But the funny part for me, and it's one of my, I don't know if I can say it's my favorite Vigilante moment just because there's so many, but the funniest moment that just comes to mind when I was thinking of him is the part when they're interrogating the butterfly. And he's like, they're interrogating it.
Yeah.
This is part of the chemistry between Vigilante and Peacemaker. Like it really shines when it's those two together in a room. But I love the whole jar scene because he's like, all right,
yes or no questions.
Yeah. He's like, there's 2 rules. It's either yes or no question, and 2, don't be a fucking idiot or something like that.
What's your favorite color?
Oh man, it's so funny. That line right there that Peacemaker said to him, just like broke me, and so that I loved it so much. But yeah,
or he goes to take a leak when the White Dragon and all the crew is chasing him down, but he doesn't know it. And Economos is like, heck no, and he's crawling in the woods, and Vigilantes has his pants down, and Economos goes, "Why are your pants down?" And Vigilante says, "I can't pee when clothes are touching my butt."
Oh yeah, there's so many funny things.
Funny. Yeah.
So I don't remember which is which here, but are you familiar with Abbott and Costello?
Not off the top.
It's a big comedy duo, or old school comedy duo,
Let me see.
and it's when it's kind of like a filmmaking term. Maybe if anybody can help elaborate on this, how there's you have like an Abbott and a Costello, or one's always kind of like the stupid one, and the other one always tries to be like the more bright one when you do 2 people together, and something James Gunn was talking about with Peacemaker is that it constantly changes who's the Abbott and Costello throughout Peacemaker. For instance, the stupid one is usually Peacemaker in the room, but it'll, at the end of the day, always be Vigilante, and then Peacemaker's like the smarter one of the 2.
It's
which
like Dumb
is
and Dumber. It's like which one's dumb and which one's dumber.
it's so funny, and so it's great. Yeah, but I wish I could remember which is which here. But yeah, there's a lot of pretty funny there when you have them all together. Other characters. Let's get into the other like actual characters like hired by Waller and all that. Let's talk about what's her name, Waller's daughter. Her name is,
Adebayo.
yes, Leota Adebayo. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
daughter of Amanda Waller. What'd you think of her?
I thought, I don't remember the actress's name off the top of my head, but
Danielle
Leslie
Brooks.
Danielle. Okay, she was great as Adebayo. The eagerness to prove herself. She tried to make it not seem like she was having nepotism.
Yeah.
You know, but really funny and dealing with she feels like the odd one out, like almost like the third wheel of the crew for most of the show. And of course she's dealing with her wife and not being able to tell her, but her wife's like, oh, you just must not love me anymore. And even the character growth of going from not shooting anyone to when Peacemaker shoots and kills someone, she goes and shoots. Peacemaker's like, you don't have to shoot after I kill him. But yeah, no, I enjoyed her. Like all the characters, I thought she was pretty well casted.
Yeah, it's interesting because we a bunch of these characters are like original characters, and this is one of them, and it helps. Of like, this is where we're talking about like how Harry gets a bunch of James is gonna give us a bunch of wiggle room with Peacemaker, since he's like crafting essentially lore for a modern era with all these characters and whatnot, with the butterflies, which I don't even know if butterflies is even a thing in the comics at all. I'd have to actually look at it and see if that's just the whole thing he made up. See, now I'm curious of that. I'm gonna do a quick search on that really quick.
That was like an alien-esque.
Yeah. See, because like we see a bunch of alien like shows like that, but let's see. I want to look that up here in a moment. But I did really like her character. She was a very fun supporting character. I definitely she was a lot of fun to have there. But like the other characters, though, I mean they're all great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Economos is probably my favorite of the supporting cast.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
the whole
especially the
PowerPoint.
payoff with the dye beard stuff.
Yes, they made that. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how where his character will go. I mean, that's the exciting thing is other than Myrn, we're getting everybody back.
Yeah.
I really like
Myrn. I'm just kidding. Spoilers.
Yeah, I love Economos. I love Harcourt as well. She might honestly end up being my favorite of them, because she's just such a great character. Having a lot to her character and seeing her growth of where she at first just finds Peacemaker to be complete dumbass, as he rightfully is, but then growing to like him over the season. You get that one moment. Is it? It's either episode 5 or episode 6. Where they it's when she reveals her name to him, and it's the first time that we actually ever hear what her name is. And so
this is a moment where Peacemaker has his like, and it's not ditzy, but like, come on, his like dumbness almost when she draws the dove on the gun for him, and then he goes, oh, it's backwards, the tail should be at the right. And she's just like, I should expect nothing less of Peacemaker. It's funny.
Yeah, she's just a great character with it for sure. And so
I think sometimes she feels like I don't know what her actual rank is, but early on in the show, it almost feels like she thinks she's in charge, kind of like if Myrn's not there, she is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That may be her rank. I don't know. We're never really told. But she and Economos are also mad because they're having to deal with this project because of what they did in Suicide Squad.
Right.
So
see, because it's curious, because like I'm just so curious about how it's going to go forward with, there's all these effects from the Suicide Squad that's very important, and it's like the main events of it happen, but it's like a lucid dream of sorts. So I'm very curious about how it's gonna be like it, which will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just did a search here, and it looks like butterflies is like an original thing that they did,
Oh
a
wow.
fresh invention for this, which is very interesting to see that there's nothing like it's just an original story where he just took all these things. Now,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get into it in a moment with Peacemaker's father. There's something interesting with him there, but
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about Myrn for a moment, because I thought Myrn was a
Mm-hmm.
great rooted character, and really getting into like that actor was just great
Mm-hmm.
in that role, and I loved him in Guardians 3. I think that's one of the best MCU villains we have as well.
Oh yeah.
And so it was great to see him in this. And then when you learn the twist with him,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of those great things, and you kind of like learn more about it. See, if there's any one thing I wish we could have gotten just a little bit more of in this show, is I would have liked some more background against like what these good butterflies versus bad butterflies,
Yeah.
because they did a great thing about like where everybody knew he was a butterfly, but then they didn't freak out about it because he's a good one, and we
Mm-hmm.
saw him ally with another one, and then we saw the evil ones, obviously, and so it's really interesting to see how it all kind of comes together there.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah, would be interesting. Hey, maybe there will be a spin-off animated show called Butterflies that explores
yeah, it'd be
the
interesting.
lore. Yeah.
See, Matthew said a few minutes ago, who's on first? It's an Abbott and Costello baseball joke. Should check
Yes,
it
I've
out.
heard that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
that's
joke's
that's probably a
hilarious.
big thing that I'm thinking of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go back and watch that for sure. Uh, but yeah, Myrn was great. I did really like Myrn. He was a lot of fun.
One thing that I just thought of about that I want to get your thoughts on, and this
Mhm.
just is one thing I love about James, his writing. The couple that Peacemaker runs into in the first episode, first or second episode in their apartment, when it's the first episode after he realizes that that girl he was hooking up with is a butterfly. Uh, First time I meet the couple, but their chemistry, like they're fighting and everything, is just hilarious. And how the lady's like instantly like attracted to Peacemaker and is like willing to lie for him. Um, and then the
Yeah,
bribing and everything. And then we see him later in the show too. Um, they were kind of funny. They were
right.
pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a bunch of fun stuff there. Um, that reminds me of like so much of the fight choreography in this was like great. I love the
Mm-hmm.
episode where I want to say it's 5. I could be wrong though, because I watched like a bunch of them back to back. But the one where they
Mm-hmm.
go into like the factory or whatever, and
Yeah.
they have that giant action scene just blowing up all the different ones there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, when Adebayo was like, run Adebayo would have been a good thing to say. And Peacemaker says, oh, I didn't know I'd have to tell you to run from a bomb.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jedi Genasi says, not sure if you guys have been watching Peacemaker podcast. Yes, I have. But
I need to catch up on I've seen some of
Mern,
them. I need to
yeah,
catch up.
Mern gives his whole story, and it's awesome. Yeah, no, I remember him asking a
Okay.
bit more about it and going into it and all that, and that like it's really cool. Of where we get to see shine a bit more in it. And so I
Mm-hmm.
have been enjoying listening to that. I just haven't listened to all of
Yeah.
episode 7 yet,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously 8's not out yet because that'll drop on Monday, and then I think it's Thursdays along with episodes of the shows when the others
I
are
think
dropping. Is
so.
that
Yeah.
right? Or is it the
I think
Mondays after?
so.
It's one or the other. But they'll be
And
weekly on
there was
Thursdays.
I don't know if you knew, you probably knew this, that when Peacemaker dropped, one thing HBO does with their like original shows is they'll have like a companion podcast. Well, there
Yeah.
was one with Peacemaker when it originally dropped,
Oh,
and they had like Cast on and like James on for an episode and
I
stuff like
forgot
that. But
about that.
that's been like completely erased from existence.
Really?
Yeah, as far as what I can see. So the one we're getting is like the new official, which I'm not mad about because you get James and
Oh, it's always great hearing
yeah,
creators talk
you
about
get
their craft.
yeah. So I'm not mad. It was just interesting.
I forgot that they did that, and now that you say that, I vaguely remember like wanting to listen to a bit of that stuff, but
Mhm,
not delving into it. And so, but yeah,
mhm.
they have a really good setup with their podcast. Go check it out.
They do. Yeah.
So that is really cool. Um, but yeah, the podcast is great with all that stuff.
Mhm.
Let's spend a moment to talk about Peacemaker's father aka the White Dragon. Where what
a guy.
what a villain he is. Robert Patrick's such a great actor, especially in that role, and it's going to be interesting to see if he continues to haunt Peacemaker at all in season 2, because like literally, is it the closing shot of the show where you see him on the
It
porch?
is.
Yeah, and he's sitting there in his mind still. So it'll be interesting how that goes on. If he's even there at all, we'll see. But what a messed up villain he is. Like, he's one of those villains that is so well written, to the point where you're just like, this guy's a complete asshole, and you just hate him
100%.
the entire time that he's on screen, just because the writing and acting with his character is so good. From the moment you set eyes to him, and even until the very end of the show, you just think, what a dick he is, to put it nicely. And so,
well, yeah, that's about as nice as you can put it. I mean, there's a scene in episode 1, I think. Actually, it might be the start of episode 2. I don't remember. The kind of episodes kind of morph together. But Peacemaker is trying to impress his dad with a story, so he tells the story of Bloodsport's origins with the rats, and they start laughing, and then his dad says, that better not be I'm not gonna say the word he said, but he was like, that better not have been the guy that shot you. And then Peacemaker just goes from laughing to like, oh crap.
Oh man,
you just had to ask that, Dad. Like,
right? Yeah. That's funny.
And he gets worse with each episode. Every time we learn something about him, I go, he can't get any worse than this.
You just can't, like, the moment after he gets out of prison and you see everything, like, that's when you really learn like how messed up they really are, and you get to fully see like his role and his messed up sort of lifestyle that he lives in there. It's like, oh, this guy is something. Okay. And then we get into the whole White Dragon thing, where that's something else I would have liked to have seen a little more of, was that White Dragon suit in action. I'm not going to say we didn't get enough, but I would have just liked to see maybe a tiny bit more. Just
it was definitely Robert Patrick in the suit.
Yeah, it was really cool. A pretty cool looking suit. So one of the interesting things about the White Dragon is I don't remember the character's name in the comics, and there is a White Dragon that appears on the comics.
Okay.
But there is no direct link in the comics between Peacemaker and the White Dragon, meaning that's one of the things James Gunn decided to change around. I would like to actually hear more of the reasonings as to why he wanted to do that. But that is an original thing where he changed White Dragon from being just some random villain to being Peacemaker's father, which is interesting. So
yeah, I think it actually helps you understand Peacemaker better, I think, because he wants to be good, but he was raised by such a twisted guy that he then has these twisted thoughts. But it's almost like, in a weird way, he has like a good intention behind everything. Like, even with the family, they know that the senator's a butterfly, but they don't know that the whole family is, if they are or not. And Peacemaker talks about, he's like, well, just because the kid looks homely, shoot him, where he talks about the butt baby. Which is funny, but yeah.
Interesting. The original version of White Dragon was a enemy of Hawkman. Look at that.
Wow.
Very interesting. And then later became a member of some other groups that are somewhat associated with the Suicide Squad. So that's probably where more of the actual link happened there. So, let's see here. Yeah, probably based a little more from his one where he actually first appeared in it. One of them first appeared in a Suicide Squad comic. So that's probably where that came from, which is interesting. So
it's nice doing the show with you, because I'm not familiar at all with these characters outside of what we've seen off screen.
Well, I read a bunch, but I don't read too much of a bunch of the older stuff. I would like to. At the end of the day, there's just too much to read. Honestly, that's really what it is. I was literally just reading a Magneto comic earlier today, and it got to a point where it's going to go into an event. I was like, this looks cool. I'd like to, check out, I'll let me see what else is involved with this event. and I look at everything else, and I'm like, oh, I'm interested in all these comics that I've never read that lead up into the event. So I'm like, I'm just going to put a pause on this now, and I'm going to move on to the next thing in my reading list because I have a giant stack of books that I need to get through. I would say it's not that stack. It's actually a bigger one. So I have a bunch. I have a bunch. It's bad.
Dang.
That's why I'm trying to put a pause on it so I can actually try to get through it. You don't want to know how much I really have back there. I swear it's not a problem.
Right. Yeah. It's a collection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But yes. Point is, there's a bunch of interesting, little connections that he changes around. But it's one of those things of where it shows how much of a character people really don't care about. I guess the White Dragon, because a lot of comic enthusiasts are like really passionate about certain things. There's certain things that the MCU does, or even some other DC projects. Such as take Superman for exists.
Yeah.
For example, Superman's been around for over 80 years. And so obviously over those 80 years, you have a bunch of different versions of the character that's existed throughout both on screen and the comics and shows and all that stuff. And so, there's a bunch of, ways of how iterations of a character people care for. But we didn't really see it in a case where, in something like this, where there's all these smaller characters that got forgot in time, where like White Dragon, for instance, is like a late 70s to mid 80s character that then kind of just faded away, and there's no nobody cared about them changing it. I think it really helps when it actually justifies it and not just something to be like a change to be special, because that's one of the big annoyances with adapting things is how they have the need to change it just so they can say they change it,
right
because you need a way to justify it, and I feel like so far James Gunn has done that with about all his changes that he may have made. There's one part of Superman that I'm like, he hasn't justified it yet, but we'll see where they go with it. But other than that, I'm curious where everything else will go with everything. But yeah, there's a bunch of great things with the characters going on, and White Dragon was a great character, and seeing him, he was just a really good villain. James Gunn knew how to write a really good villain there at the end of the day.
And Peacemaker's not the type of show where you need a Dr. Doom level villain. Having a more grounded, even being his own dad, he's not super flashy. And so
it helps a lot at the end of the day when it's a character-driven show about Peacemaker, and it's on his quest of somebody from being a villain to trying to be a good guy. I think "trying to" is the key words in that statement, but
yes, very much, yes.
But it's very interesting to see how that'll go and how he'll continue to evolve with this cast of characters, which I'm very excited to get into and seeing how they'll all come together and all that for sure. We've talked about the butterflies, but we haven't really talked about like the butterflies too much themselves. I feel like butterflies I thought were really cool, and actually one of my favorite moments or scenes of the entire show across all the episodes was the part where it plays the monster song, where you see all of the butterflies taking over the police station, and
that was really
that one
cool.
song. I love that show. Whenever I first watched the show, I remember that song being stuck in my head and me saving that song like right away.
That's something James does well, really, too. The songs fit the scenes. Amazing. It's almost like a character. It doesn't take you out of it.
He does a great job with his soundtracks. I feel like, for me, my favorite soundtracks of his movies are like Guardians 1, Guardians 3, and I would then place Peacemaker Season 1 as like my top 3. Not in any particular order, but like those are my top 3.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see what he picks for Season 2. He's revealed the song for the new dance sequence, which will be
I'm so
a lot of fun.
For that.
Can't wait to see
the
how
tone
goes.
Also kind of adjusts for that, because as the show gets more serious, the intro gets less funny and more serious, even though it's the same intro every time.
It's great. I love the intro. What a great intro, and doing that too. I love this so much. And I completely forgot about them actually using the song when they fought against all the butterflies at the end.
I did too.
When they did it again, I was like, oh, they're playing the song. I forgot. And so it was great to see all that there. But yeah, no, there's not a song that misses. They all perfectly fit, along with like pretty much all the songs that he really picks. He knows he has a special taste for music stuff. You know, he actively goes out to listen to new music every week and being very well versed in it. Always has been, and it really shows with him, which is great. And
he's so dedicated. Characters from Superman got playlists on Spotify.
Oh my gosh, right? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And even the two like songs they used in Superman, I love both of those.
Yeah,
I've never heard either before, and then listening to both of those Superman, I was like, oh, those are great. Instant ads with both of those right after, especially the last one. And so. But yeah, I can't wait to see where all the soundtrack stuff goes.
Yeah.
But
I'll say this real quick, and then we can talk more on the butterflies if you want. A small detail that I really like that James cares about all the details is the episode titles are all play on words.
Oh yeah.
You know, like Better Goff Dead, or It's Cow or Never. Stop Dragging My Heart or something.
Yeah.
Dragging My Heart Around or something.
That's
like
it.
that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Those were fun. I always appreciate when you can kind of have a good episode title. It kind of helps things stand out. And so we'll see how those all go as we watch Peacemaker season 2, which will be fun. I don't know what else I really have. Let me see here. Well, butterflies. It was a cool little take on the sort of aliens taking over. I remember when I first kind of think of they feel like a Men in Black-esque sort of threat to me.
If
I remember right, I don't remember which movie. It's been a long time since I've seen them. Maybe probably the first one. You remember how there's like literally a little dude that hangs out in somebody's head or whatever. You remember? And so it's like very much like that, but instead of it being a robot, it's like a legit person they take over, and it being butterflies and all that. And so it was a cool threat. And then the whole thing about the cow. Can't forget about the cow.
Wow. What a cow. I mean, I love Economos' reaction to it when he gets down there and he's like, no more kaiju.
What's really funny too is when I was rewatching most of the show, I was watching it with my uncle for the first time, and he was like, whoever wrote, he says along the lines of like, whoever wrote this show must have been high. Talking about,
James, I think James just even said he was, because he like.
Oh man, he's just like talking about the cow and all that stuff there. It's so funny. Oh my gosh! And then when you actually see it,
it's something.
It's something big. And
I like how the butterflies inherit the people's memories that they overtake.
Yeah.
So it's not just like they're just like, nothing's going on up there. It's like the one in Mern was like, this dude was an awful dude, but that doesn't represent who I am as the butterfly or something like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's like a cool twist, because you don't really see that a lot with alien stuff. I feel like when you take them over, more times than not, it's just taking over their minds, and that's it, or their body or something like that. So it's definitely in the long term kind of a cool twist, I think. And whatever reason, the cow. My mind just keep on going back to this cow.
It's like, did you watch the Emu War?
No, I have not.
Oh, well, there's a queen, and the queen emu has similar features to the cow that we see. But the cow has even more of it. Where the honey comes from. That is
I got what you mean. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
For the people at home.
For whatever reason, every time I saw the cow, and this is probably one of those things of being like, why is this what you think of it when you see the cow? Is you remember there's this animated movie that came out years ago called Monsters vs. Aliens.
Yes,
do you remember?
I love that movie.
Do you remember like the big, like it was like an insect little thing, the big dude? For whatever reason, I kept on thinking of that whenever I saw the cow.
I see that now. It's like all the eyes and the
yeah. And so it's just like an ugly naked version of that or something. And for whatever reason, every time I saw it, my mind went back to that. I haven't seen that in so long. It's just so funny. Like that's what my mind went to every time I saw the cow.
It kind of has the same like kind of feel to it. Like just there to serve its purpose. I want to say this real quick before I forget because it's one of my favorite moments from the show, funniest moments too, just because I don't know why, it just made me laugh. But when Economos hits the judo master and like knocks him out, and then he goes Kai, Kia or whatever. It's just funny because Economos is not the most athletic guy,
right?
And the judo master is hilarious. So he has like no lines, but he's like one of the funniest parts of the show.
Always see, here's my thing. Okay, I want to go back to something about the cow really quick.
Okay.
I know, but while I'm thinking about it with judo master is one of my biggest pet peeves, and this is why I kind of like just don't like the character because one of my biggest pet peeves is like hearing people eat. I hate it so much.
Oh yeah.
Like anytime I watch stuff. Or no, anytime I eat stuff, I have to have something I put on to distract even myself from eating. Is how much I hate it.
Oh gosh!
And so, like, it's just one of those things. Anytime I hear people like eat, it annoys me. It's just like, anytime I see somebody just openly, especially him.
Right.
It's such a great
and the way
he
does it
is like it's just like you little asshole.
I mean, he crunches on those Cheetos.
Yeah.
Some
foods are just crunchy by nature, but just the way he does it. He just gives off asshole energy.
and I don't know if it's because he's small, but some of the Cheetos he'll eat in like 2 bites. It's like, oh, just buddy.
Just go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
pick another food.
That's funny. He was a good character.
Yeah.
I did like him. But going back to the cow, the thing I want to say about the cow is and like the other butterflies and stuff there is one of my favorite moments from the show is obviously with us watching it. Again, we knew how it ended, but I don't know if you felt this sense of where it's like you almost didn't know what was going to happen when they were talking to Peacemaker, and Peacemaker had his choice there at the very end of if he was going to save them or not. I thought that was such a well done moment of like, in the moment, it seemed like they were winning over Peacemaker, especially with knowing how much of a gullible character he is, and so I thought that was just a great moment before he sends off the human torpedo to the.
Well, I actually had forgotten about that specific part in the ending of them giving him the choice. So I am glad I rewatched it because as soon as when they gave him that, even after all the fighting with Goff, still gave him the choice. So I was like, Peacemaker. I wouldn't put it past him to be like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But
sure.
Poor Adebayo kept getting thrown around with the human torch. She like missed like twice.
Yeah,
it was just funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Peacemaker better keep labels on those helmets because I don't know how he remembers which ones.
I know, right? See, now that's going to be an interesting thing too. If we're going to actually be able to get more helmets at all this season, since I mean, surely they will somehow. But as it stands, plot wise, the one person that made those helmets is dead. Now, it doesn't mean that other people aren't capable of.
And we don't know what happened with that bag Peacemaker threw in the woods that had all the ones in the car.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yes. We don't know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited to see where season 2 goes. There's a bunch of exciting things to look forward to season 2. Let me look through this list to see if there's anybody else that we need to talk about really quick before we get out of here. I mean we had a bunch. Oh yeah. I remember in the little bit I watched of the last episode of the Peacemaker podcast, what's her name? Danielle, who plays Waller's daughter. She's so excited to learn she was Waller's daughter. And then when it came to the time when they did the scenes with her, she was disappointed. I was like, oh, it's over Zoom. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, but yes, that was a fun thing about seeing her back. So funny, we got the Justice League at the end.
Yes, I still love that scene because they obviously didn't get Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot, so they're like the silhouettes.
Yeah. And so that was funny. It's gonna be funny to see how they explain that in season 2.
Yeah.
I'm
Go
looking at
another fish, Aquaman.
looking at credits here. D. Bradley Baker voiced Eagly, which
I remember that now. Well, that was probably his easiest.
That is funny.
Yeah.
And then we also, for a moment, we had a gorilla in the show, a butterfly gorilla.
Yeah.
Butterflies don't just only take over humans; they can take over apes in general. And so we got Charlie the gorilla, which was, if you remember, this is something great the show does too. And it's kind of what I noticed a bit more of these. I feel like the second time watching, it was when you watch things like things on the TV or news clippings on the wall, and it comes into fruition later. If you remember, at one point, I don't remember if they said it verbally on the TV or if it was just there on the TV for you to read on the scene. But there's a part where it talks about a gorilla escaping from a zoo. And then 2 episodes later, the gorilla appears.
Okay.
And so there's some really cool world building in it in that way, of where like they give these hints early on that like, you're like, okay, yeah, was a gorilla escaping a zoo have to do anything? 2 episodes later, you see a freaking gorilla just appear out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, that's the gorilla. Okay. And so that was awesome.
I love when Vigilante is like when Economos kills the gorilla with the chainsaw, and Vigilante is all mad that he was like he was like Economos did that because I wanted to do that. It's the little stuff like that throughout the episodes that add up to just be hilarious.
There's a bunch of great things there. Somebody else I wanted to highlight is Casper Locke, who is the police captain.
Oh yeah,
he was a very like messed up, captain dude. Like the way that person played it was like really good.
I almost couldn't tell if that one post-credit scene was a blooper or not, when he's like, cry now, like be sad, and then he starts laughing with the woods.
See, I'll be honest, when I rewatched the show, I didn't watch any of the post-credits just because I was going from one episode to the next.
Right.
I kind of forgot that they were even a thing at first, but that'll be a thing to look forward to in season 2, for sure.
But yeah, no, he was kind of he was pretty twisted.
I
think even without having the butterfly, he still was probably not a good guy.
Yeah, he played a really good creepy character for sure. Kind of
he was just the man on the inside. I don't know if they ever confirmed he had a butterfly in him. Because Mern just says he's our man on the inside.
I thought he had a butterfly in him at one point. He got it, and so, but it's really interesting. I did really like him though. He's one of the characters that stood out to me. Anytime he was around, kind of stealing the scene in a lot of places for me at least, and so that was what I really liked. We also got to talk about the neighbor. The neighbor guy was funny great there. Oh man, that was.
Do you have what was it? A caveat of superheroes? Batman has supervillains, and he's so good.
Peacemaker just goes off on him. So funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, you got a bunch of good characters there, and then of course all the different people.
The janitor at the hospital.
Yes.
And he brings Peacemaker. He says that's his daughter's uncle. For that school scene.
Oh my gosh. The scene with all in the classroom, all the little kids.
I think he might be my dad.
Yeah. All the
questions,
those were so funny. All the little kids there were hilarious. See, that's one of my favorite parts right there.
Peacemaker says that Wonder Woman, I effed him, and the janitor guy was like, dude. And Peacemaker goes, what? I said effing. Kids will figure it out,
Such a good scene there. Man. So yeah, a bunch of great stuff there. I think that pretty much covers it as far as characters here goes. There's some other side characters that were all really good, but
like the nurses. I loved them when they were like, let's do this, let's kill the butterflies. I'm like, nope, you're not allowed to be part of this.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about too much either of the 2 main police detectives either. That end up becoming butterflies as well.
Detective Song's banter with Peacemaker's dad. Their
Oh,
back and forth was always hilarious. And when she
yeah.
says "see ya," and her partner says "wouldn't want to be ya," she goes,
Yeah.
"Really?" She's like, "I had this. And you just
Just
came in
this
and ruined it."
it's top tier banter with all of them, which is
Hmm.
great. I really liked all that. For sure. So that was great stuff all around there. Um, but yeah, like what a great show in general. Season one is a
Hmm.
blast. I'm rewatching it and can't wait for season two, which is going to be so much fun to get into.
Very
I can't
excited.
wait.
Yeah.
Where we will be back here every week talking about it. Be sure to follow the Dingus Den Twix, aka X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, right down there below me. There, you can see that it says at Dingus Den. Go follow me there. You can also follow me down over there. You can see that it says at the Dingus Den on Twitch, where I'm going to try to do some more Twitch streams here and there. I'll be honest, my main priority with um, streaming stuff right now is here on YouTube. I want to focus more on my comic, mainly doing the comic den, and then we have show ideas that we're talking about here with doing Peacemaker and something after that, which we'll get into after Peacemaker. But and then obviously I have school stuff that I'm taking care of, and so I have like one episode of Shell Talk, which I actually will probably want to get out next week. So we can finally wrap up the Eastman and Laird era of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So make sure to tune back in for that. So if you're a comic fan, be sure to come back, check out all the stuff that we're doing. Or even if you're not a comic fan, if you want to learn more about stuff from the comics, as that's my big thing that I've really started leaning into. Is I'm just a big comic fan and I want to share that with everybody. Thank you so much, Jedi Genasi, for coming by. I really do appreciate the follow.
Yes.
I saw that you followed me on Twix, and so I very much appreciate that and all that stuff. So hope to see you around again. So yeah, just be sure to tune in for Shell Talk, Peacemaker next week, and then we are skipping the Comic Den, and we are going to this week and we should hopefully be back next week. So stay tuned for that. One other thing I want to share is I actually am part of a new channel that just got created like a week ago, or a little over a week ago, something like that. A brand new channel where it's me and a few friends who are big into tabletop games. We made a channel called the Tabletop Lounge, which I should put a link. But go, you know what? I'll get a link to that really quick while I'm talking about it. But go check out the Tabletop Lounge, where it's going to be. It's just a YouTube channel that between the four of us, where we're going to be gaming all these different tabletop games and whatnot. And so,
I found it. Right.
what's going to be fun is that right now the main thing that we're putting out, and it's going to be streamed both there and the Dingus Den Twitch, is the D&D campaign I'm running on Monday nights, set in a fantasy world that I've thought of for like several years. Just the highlights of it, and how I've fully been going into it and thinking of it and starting to actually explore a bit more of the world and crafting it with some of the players depending on their characters and whatnot. And so it's been a lot of fun going into that and delving into it. And so we have the first 4 sessions, which was originally only streamed on the Dingus Den Twitch because Tabletop Lounge wasn't a thing until then, and then we made the channel. So now all the stuff is in all the videos of that we already all played is up on there right now, and then all the future sessions will be streamed there. And then something we're going to be doing is we're also going to be that's going to turn into like a bi-weekly thing where we're going to be playing a bunch of other games in between the main D&D sessions, and so it's going to be a bunch of fun. If you're a D&D fan, go listen to it. As it is a set in a fantasy world that I've thought of and been, it's something I'm very passionate about. And so go check that out Monday nights, or always check out the replays if it'll always be there. I'm trying to think of what else because I was trying to get the link to this here. Let me get that here for you all. There you go. So go check that out if you're not subscribed there already. And then Mondays is Tabletop Lounge. I don't know. I think that's actually it for me. So yeah. What about you? What do you have going on?
Yeah, so you can catch me over on the Feast of Fandoms YouTube channel for MCU Monday and Cantina Happy Hour. Also, you can catch me and Spencer on the Cam and Focus YouTube channel. There won't be any stream this Sunday. Cam was on a work trip in New Jersey and has taken some much needed rest. But usually we discuss, we pick a movie a week and talk about it. It's usually a lot of fun. Of course, I'll be back here for each Saturday for Peacemaker
Oh,
Season
that'll
2,
be
which is
fun.
a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
all I
made a
got.
special Peacemaker layout today as I was trying to figure out how to make
Nice.
things look Peacemaker-ish on stream. So, Um, Sweet Jedi He says, longtime D&D nerd, I'm in. Excellent.
Nice.
One of the special things that we're actually wanting to do with this tabletop lounge is we're wanting to make it into a community. And so something that we're going to be doing, it's going to probably take a little bit for it to get going, but something we're wanting to do is we're wanting to kind of make it where we have a Discord set up and people can join it. Anybody can join it. And how it works is when you first enter it, you select what roles you want. Right now we have 2 roles set up. One is like your general role, just for like the general admission, you can think of it as, where like you just access the general chats and the announcement channel, so you'll see when anything gets uploaded, anytime we go live, general chats about all the stuff we do. But then we also have another place set up for people who wants to play. And so anybody who's interested in playing anything, we are going to be having later on, and with different mini series that we're trying to find people for, or one shots and stuff that as we decide to do them. We are inviting absolutely anybody who wants to come play with us,
Nice.
or be a potential player. So if you're interested in joining the Discord and being part of that, let me know. I'm going to make sure, at the very least, I'm going to try to get it, make sure it's in the description of all the videos. I need to actually, that's something I was thinking about that I haven't done yet. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. That's something we're in the process of doing. So, but yeah,
Nice.
a bunch of fun stuff there. We have some ambitious ideas of what we want to do with it. So be a lot of fun though. So, but great to hear, longtime D&D nerd, or even if you're new, if you ever want to try out a game of D&D, join us as well. I actually have a adventure that'd be very good as a first timer D&D thing, because I actually just introduced my brother to D&D for the first time a couple weeks ago, my little brother.
Nice.
And he is where he and a couple of his friends came over and played it. And so a base level 1 adventure, since it's his first time, their first time playing, just to teach him the basics. But I figured that'd be something I could easily, run for people there once I refine it a little bit and get some parts digitized. So, but yeah, a bunch of fun stuff there. But yeah, yes, I will send you the link, Jedi. So great stuff. Well, without further ado, thank you all, everybody, so much. Go check out Andrew over on Feast of Fandoms and Cam and Focus. We're there most of the time. And so, and stick around for any other comic related content. As I'm a big comic fan and I like to talk about comics, and it's a big passion. So thank you all, everybody, so much for joining. Great to see you here, Matthew, and welcome, Jedi Genasi, to the channel. Great to see you around, and I appreciate you all sticking out through the show, and I will see you all later next time here in the Dingus